You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs on News Radio WBRN.
Off the left side to the end zone. Touchdown Bulldogs.
If I'm even having like a bad day on the course or something, I just look down at it and just feel like thankful that I'm able to be out there.
Making sure that we're like where our feet are and we're not thinking about outside distractions.
Welcome into Behind the Bulldogs, another summer edition here this week. Brandon, we're joined by Brody Kaiser. Brody, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, we're full swing now.
Full
Football
swing.
camp going on. As of recording this, we've had 4 days of the first 5. Well, they've had a couple meetings over the weekend, but through the week, practice-wise, going really well. Team looks great, and back to the grind.
Back to the grind indeed, and all of our other sports are starting to come back
Very
slowly.
close, yes.
And the athletic training room is certainly now starting to fill up. And of course, on this episode, we figured we finally can have a chance, our final chance, the last hurrah to get in 2 of our athletic trainers. And we have 2 today, Allyson, Aaron stopping by. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We'll get into the Q&A. But first, big thanks to Johnson's Automotive. If you need help with any auto repair, foreign or domestic, you know where to go, Mount Pleasant or Big Rapids, johnsonsautobr.com. Big shout out to our sponsor in Johnson's Automotive. All right, let's get into it. So for both of you guys individually, I'm sure many people are probably asking the question of, what in the world is your guys' schedules now that all the sports are coming back at the same time? You have no time in the day, but just talk about the day-to-day things that you're doing right now, not in season, but more preseason for these teams.
Basically, our day starts 6:30 a.m. We open up the training room, pre-practice treatments, tapings, everything like that. Beforehand from 6:30 to 8:15, 8:30-ish. So a couple hours there. Kids will come in, get whatever they need done to get ready for practice, go out. We're out there at practice, 9 to 11-ish. Come back, immediately start with treatments because guys start to trickle in.
Yep.
Say if you were down there like an hour ago, it was absolutely packed with guys.
Completely packed.
And so we're running treatments basically from 11 to 2 when they get off to meetings. 2 to 4 gets a little bit quieter as they're at meetings or at lift. Then 4 to 5, 5:30-ish, we're also doing any kind of stragglers kind of coming in afterwards.
Yeah,
Very
same kind of thing with after lifts and whatnot, because it just depends on their schedule. So if they're not at meetings, they're at a lift and we're rotating there. But just kind of more background stuff too. So while we're prepping the athletes, we also have other staff members that are prepping for practice, and it's getting all of our emergency supplies out, water out to the field. We've been prepping anywhere between 120 and 160 gallons of water every day, just preparing because it's hot out and let's not have anything crazy. Thank goodness no crampers so far, except for maybe one.
Yeah.
And then during those dead times, we do like to sit down every once in a blue moon. As we were kind of talking earlier, we haven't sat down a whole lot today. And we do a lot of our paperwork. It's we're catching up right now on all of our physicals. And so every athlete is required to come in and do either, if it's their first time coming to Ferris, they come in for a regular physical, or if they're a returner, they have a returning physical, which is a little different. And we're just checking in with each kid as they're coming in, making sure that we know everything we can possibly know about each kid before they touch the field, just to make sure that they're safe. So that's a lot of the paperwork we've been doing recently. And now with us rolling into day 4, almost day 5 of football camp, we're managing more injuries and doing that paperwork and stuff too.
Gotcha.
So you mentioned some staffers. If I'm correct, there's a lot of students that help you guys throughout the year as well, but then there's also a couple other trainers. So can you just walk us through your whole staff? Because it's not just you 2. I mean, from what you said, it sounds like, you guys are kind of doing everything, but there's a whole staff of you. So tell us what everything looks like down there.
Yeah. So there 5 full-times now?
5 full-times at the moment.
So we have 5 full-time athletic trainers right now. There is a 6th position we are working on getting filled right now. They are kind of split. 4 of us are fully employed through Ferris, and 2 of us are actually a partnership that we have with Corewell Health. And that's how we got Aaron.
Yep.
And so each of us has different responsibilities depending on our sports. We are organized all by sports. It's a little different than high school where there's one athletic trainer that covers everything.
Sure.
Whereas here, I am the head of football. And then I also cover stunt, men's and women's tennis. Aaron assists with football, and then he does cross country, track and field.
Yes. No runners.
Megan is our head athletic trainer. She covers volleyball and softball. Mackenzie covers hockey, men's and women's golf. And Rachel is covering women's soccer, men's and women's basketball.
Nice.
So we're all over.
All over the place.
And you got to nail it down. You got like a board that you have everyone's assignments
literally
written down
do.
that you study
Yep,
for.
we literally
do.
That's good. But that's mostly like your travel schedule, right? And your assigned teams, because
Yes.
when athletes come down the training room, let's say it's a hockey player, Mackenzie's upstairs, someone down there is still taking care of that
Correct.
hockey athlete.
Yes.
Correct. So it just kind of depends on the situation. If it's an injury or something where it's, hey, I just had a quick question, we usually say reach out to your athletic trainers.
Sure.
Most of our student athletes have an easy way of contacting us. But yeah, of course, if a kid comes in, hey, I just sprained my ankle during lift, of course, we're going to jump right on that and
For
do
sure.
what we got to do to make sure they're healthy.
Absolutely. Now, the question is, do trainers need trainers with your guys' workload? Like, if you're looking at do you have to tape wrists before you guys are taping? You know, like, because it's got to be very physically laboring to do that continuously. I mean, for football, I can't imagine how many ankles you guys have taped already, and we haven't even got to a game yet.
Yep.
So, like, what's the physical labor side of that job?
A lot.
A lot. I mean, it's a lot of functional strength and whatnot. Just like we build up calluses on fingers from taping
Weird spots.
in the same
Yes.
spot over and over. You know, the other day I cut my finger in one spot where the tape tends to roll over. So now every time I tear
Oh.
the tape, it's not
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, just PTSD from that
Pretty
one spot.
much.
Yep.
Yep.
Pretty much. Our feet take a lot. Our backs take a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot of heavy lifting. Some of the things that people don't think about is emergency preparedness side. So say we got to cart a kid off the field some way, somehow, we got to pick them up. So there's that side of it. So if I've got, Javon Ruffin down on the field for some crazy reason and I got to
Big
get him
man.
off. Yes, exactly. And I'm not short, but he is tall. So just kind of depends on the situation there, but it is very physically taxing.
Yep.
We jokingly say, do as we say, not as we do, because
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of time to take care of ourselves sometimes, but that's all right. We love what we do.
You just make it happen.
Exactly.
So who tapes the best ankle down in the training room? Like if there's an athlete and all of you are available and they're like, I want Allyson to tape my ankle or I want Aaron to tape my ankle. Who are they going to?
I think it's me.
It's probably you. I would say it's maybe just because you've been around longer and
I
so
think
they're
so.
more used to your. I have gotten rave reviews in the past. I'll just say that.
I think it depends on the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Every single athletic trainer tapes differently.
Right.
We were all taught the same techniques, but every single one of us has our own twist to it. So just kind of preference on the kids.
So speaking of being taught different or the same thing, evolving as you go, tell us a little bit about your background, where you went to school, how you got into athletic training, what that decision was like for sports med.
So, I mean, I have kind of the really common athletic trainer background story. Like I did track and field all through high school and everything. Was a very often injured kid. And so actually it was my junior year of high school that we finally got an athletic trainer at my school. So I was basically with him all the time, just having all sorts of conversations. And that just kind of inspired me to get into the sports medicine side of things. Originally thought I wanted to do PT, but then as I kind of got into doing different things, I thought athletic trainer is more my speed. I like, the fast pace of the clinic. I like being out at the field, at games and everything like that. So then did my undergrad at Michigan Tech up in the UP, worked with the athletic training staff there. One of the FTs who used to be there, a huge mentor to me, kind of really took me under his wing as soon as I got there. Then I did my grad school, got my master's in athletic training at University of Michigan. And so met a lot of great people there, a lot of great mentors who taught me so many things that I'm, teaching the rest of the staff even to this day. That kind of has kept me afloat all these years.
Yeah, for sure. Allyson?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say exactly the traditional sense, but in a way, its own version. My freshman year of high school, I was also running track and field, and at the same time had been training for soccer. That's its own long story. And out of the blue, started getting consistent foot pain, and it wouldn't go away. So everybody kept saying, "Go see this random dude down the hall of the athletic wing." And his name's Mark, and actually a couple of our other students here have worked with Mark as well. But Mark took a look at me, and we were ruling out a whole bunch of things, and he says one day, "I think you have a stress fracture." I said, "What in the world is that?" You got a 15-year-old kid going, "What is a stress fracture?"
Yeah.
And I remember that night, my mom getting the phone call, and she's like, "Who in the world is this Mark guy?" But it did end up being I had a stress fracture. And after that, it's kind of its own history. I don't think I left his side. The poor man had to deal with me for 3 more years after that. And I pestered him like crazy. He was working on an independent study at the time. And so I was one of his first to do an independent study. And that's where I really fell in love with athletic training. I was a really weird kid. I knew what I wanted to be as a junior in high school. So I did everything I could to prepare. So I did a lot of my undergrad work at CC in Grand Rapids. And then I graduated high school and went to Aquinas College in Grand Rapids.
Nice.
I was one of the last few out of there that athletic training has actually transitioned from a bachelor's degree to a master's entry. So I'm one of the last few that did get that bachelor's before they switched over. I think it was 2020.
2020, because I was part of the first cohort of master's students at Michigan.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, that's where I went.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, with the side of it, everybody knows the taping ankles, filling up water jugs, right? And obviously, incident where a cart needs to come out and you guys have to provide, direct care. What are some of the other things that you guys do on a daily basis, or the knowledge that you have to have for the things that happen behind the scenes that fans might not get to see?
Ooh, that's kind of a loaded question. I call ourselves the gatekeepers. We're the jack of all trades. We know a little bit of everything. Most people know us for the onside stuff, but what they also don't see is it's a lot of injury prevention. So if a kid comes in and says, hey, I've sprained my ankle in the past, how do I keep myself from doing that in the future? And so we do a lot of that kind of stuff. A lot of us have different certifications for treatments that we can do. So like I am dry needling certified. Rachel is she Graston or Hawk Grips?
Hawk Grips.
Hawk Grips certified, which is a specialty for what we call IASTM. So
Instrument-assisted soft tissue massage.
There was
Got it. All right, we're good. We're good.
There was no English in that sentence,
Yes,
right?
I know. But yeah, so just all of those different pieces. We do a ton of documentation. Say a kid is injured, we're kind of that gatekeep person between getting them the help or helping them navigate. Sometimes we have kids with really crazy injuries that are not orthopedic, and you're trying to navigate the healthcare system that most people know is absolute chaos.
Yes.
And you give a kid that, let's say, for example, they need to see cardio. I was on the phone with cardiology earlier this week and they said appointments are booked out as late as December right now. Whoa. Well, that doesn't help me when I have a kid that wants to play football in August, or a basketball player that wants to play in October. So we help manage a lot of that kind of stuff.
So we are the facilitators.
There's the word.
I like it. Yes, for sure. Aaron, how about you? What are some of the things that you have in your toolkit?
Let's say I always drew my own job as being very rehab and education focused. Like you mentioned the education part. Like my undergrad degree, I had a minor in public health. So I love the education side of things, the teaching people about health, how to stay healthy and whatnot. Like the rehab side of things, like every time someone comes in, I'm kind of working the more creative part of my brain, trying to come up with different exercises to target the different muscles that we need to strengthen, weaknesses we need to fix, everything like that, to kind of get them back to performing at their best, which I really love. And that's kind of my favorite part of the job.
For sure.
So.
You like to make some of the athletes guinea pigs at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
In a sense, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
I think the recovery portion, because you mentioned injury prevention, the education part, incredibly important, but recovery is often what most of the athletes need most frequently, I'm assuming, at least in terms of
right now,
avoiding avoiding like the major injuries, the guys that are just maybe a little bit beat up or sore after a game coming in. I know the hockey guys are big on coming in Sundays after the weekend series, and so that's a huge part. Like when you guys travel, you have to come back, and then is it right away within the few hours? Is it the next day that you have to come back in the office and help your team get through that recovery period?
Just kind of depends.
Yeah, I mean, like during the football season, for example, we run treatments on Sunday after the Saturday game. So like, last year, for example, coming down from the UP trip, we got home, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then, we were in the training room at 11 a.m. So quick turnaround, but
right.
I say we like to run that just so guys can come and get recovery like after games. So
we try to catch them before their lifts on Sundays.
Yes.
And lifts go before meetings. So we're basically trying to do what we can to have all the information to provide for coaches like, hey, FYI, so-and-so broke this person sprained this. That way the coaches can also go into their meetings and their game prep for the next week more better prepared too.
Obviously, almost every athlete will probably visit you guys at some point through the season, but on a random given Wednesday, what would be like a crazy number of athletes for you guys to see? Not just from one sport, but everyone down in the training room. I mean, do you have an estimate for that?
I know for football alone, I have had upwards of 90 to 100 treatments in a day.
Oh my gosh.
The joke is that it's a really good thing that I probably have ADHD because I can bounce so quickly.
Yeah.
I've been doing 15 to 20 rehabs at a time.
Wow.
Yes.
How do you even keep track of that?
I have no idea. It just works.
When you get home at night, is your brain just like there's nothing going on in there because there
pretty
was so much? It's just you have to shut it off.
Yeah. A lot of sticky notes. Yeah. Aaron and I do a really good job of communicating just for our sports. So if he sees one of my normal athletes, because I'm more in charge of offense, he's more in charge of defense. It's just a lot of communicating for us. And say, well, I guess the other thing is we keep track with technology. So we have a kiosk that's directly connected to our documenting system so the kids can check themselves in, which is helpful. And so we can always go back in and review ed notes as needed.
Sure.
But most of the time we're writing those down anyway and logging them ourselves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to piggyback off of what Brody just mentioned. Long day, or even let's take the summer, for example, where there's not as many athletes. There still are, but not as many on campus. What do you guys do in the off time? It's not in the thick of the fall, the winter, the spring, to kick back and, relax. The calm before the storm, as our president once said on the show.
I don't know if there ever really is downtime, just because all of our sports are constantly year round.
Sure.
But
So you're basically using the time that you're not in season to prepare for the next season, kind of getting physicals ready, getting all the documentation in order, closing out old injuries,
communicating with surgeons, if kids have graduated, helping them manage and navigate insurance and healthcare that way, just because they might not be here, but that doesn't mean they stop being our athlete. So we're managing a lot of that.
So doing inventory and ordering supplies.
Yep. We tried this year to purchase an entire year's worth of inventory. We'll see how it goes. I spent some time last year creating a whole tracking spreadsheet so we could see exactly how much we went through. I think we figured out we went through like 60 something boxes of tape last year.
Whoa.
That seems low, honestly.
I actually think it might. Well, that was just 1.5 inch. I think because there's different sizes, of course. So, but your traditional athletic tape that everybody's used to, about 60 boxes and probably another 20 to 30 of a larger size of that same stuff. So,
my gracious.
so that's what we do primarily in the summer. And also like with the physical side of it, say a kid's got a history, like, hey, they tore their ACL their senior year of high school. We're reaching out to that surgeon, that doctor's office, trying to get an idea of what we're working with when they come in. So it's just a lot of prep.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, in terms of education for you guys, is there additional, like every year you have to, go through another process to keep yourself certified? Is there further education that's required for you every July or January, whatever it might be? How does that work?
Yeah. So athletic trainers are licensed by their respective state, and they're also certified by a national board of certification. The board of certification requires, I think it's 25 CEUs per year on a kind of 2-year schedule. So you're getting 50 CEUs in that 2 years. And then at least for the state of Michigan, it's about 75 CEUs every 3 years kind of for that renewing cycle. And so basically each year we're trying to get 25 hours worth of continuing education.
Gotcha.
And then I know personally, since I'm the only one on staff who's employed fully through Corewell, not through the university, they have different educations and competencies that I have to complete all throughout the year.
Gotcha.
As well.
Yep. And then obviously with Ferris, we have all of our online training, that kind of stuff. But sometimes we're also just doing education just because we want to know more so we can better serve the athletes. So sometimes it's not even just that stuff that we're doing it for, but primarily.
Right. Yeah. And that leads into my question. Is there techniques that you guys are looking into or wanting to learn, as far as it could be, anybody downstairs that you guys are looking to as a whole, or you guys personally, any methods or techniques you guys have looked into?
I know I want to there's 2 more steps of dry needling. So right now where I'm certified, it's more extremity based. And so I personally would like to do a little bit more with that.
So I've been looking at something called functional movement screening, where you're basically screening someone and the way they move to try and find potential sources of injury before they happen.
Oh, interesting.
And I know I've had a few different ATs that I've worked with in the past who have used that and found it very helpful. So I've been looking into that as an education.
Very neat.
Yeah. And social media is really awesome for that stuff. For sure. Last fall, I had a student athlete that was an NIL rep kind of thing for a company called Firefly. It's this. Yes. They're phenomenal little suckers.
Fabulous.
And I ended up reaching out to their rep just to say, hey, any chance we could get some samples? We want to just try these out. And now we are very regular customers these days. I'm pretty sure you walk around campus, you'll see a couple of athletes floating around with those, just because I have found them to be very beneficial.
Yes.
So sometimes just social media saying, hey, this is our next new thing, and digging into it a little bit. Sometimes that's how we're finding our next new niche.
It was Fireflies and Normatex for me, running 10 miles a day. That was the life, man.
So we've heard the term dry needling a few times, just so everyone knows, myself included, because I've heard it too. I think Mackenzie's mentioned it a few times just in passing, like with the hockey guys. But what exactly is that process, and how does it help with an athlete's recovery or whatever it's for?
So dry needling and Chinese medicine acupuncture are different, drastically different. So acupuncture, I kind of explain, if I poke you in your wrist, I might fix your shoulder kind of thing. I don't understand how it works. Chinese medicine's phenomenal that way. We are more intentional with Eastern side of medicine. So dry needling is I poke you in your bicep. I'm intentionally trying to get a response from your bicep.
Gotcha.
So what we were taught in our class is we are looking to shut down the muscle. So you say your bicep's really hurting. For some reason, that muscle's twitching, doing something that we're not anticipating it to do. By putting the needle in, it creates a reaction from the muscle, theoretically shutting it down. And a lot of our athletes have said, especially if they've just got a muscle that foam rolling, stretching, massage is not getting it to calm down, that's our next step. And usually we can get it to shut down that way.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that, because I was so wrong. I was like, is this stimulating the muscle somehow
it's a
to help
strange
it?
process, but my goodness, it works.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I don't think we could have literally Googled a better synopsis. Like, I feel like I understand it now. Like, I've seen it happen, being in the training room, and I see it, and it's like, that looks painful.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
Nope, they're just micro needles. It's a quick pinch. It's more getting the needle into the skin is the most uncomfortable. And after that, a lot of people describe it as a pressure. But yeah, outside of that. And we don't leave them in for very long. We're not making you move with them in. And yeah, they're pretty straightforward that way.
For sure. Aaron, is there a technique or a method that you really, that's the go-to for me, really enjoy working with this?
I really enjoy doing a lot of what's called muscle energy. What's the best way to describe it? It's not chiropractic. I see a lot of people kind of confuse it with that stuff, where we're basically using the muscles to, similar to the needles, inhibit other muscles. So to give a good example, when I check someone's hips to see if they're out of alignment, that might get pulled, like their quad might be tight, so it's pulling the hip forward. So I'll have them engage their hamstring to kind of pull things back into alignment. And that also works through another, I don't want to get too into the weeds on this, but a mechanism called reciprocal inhibition, where the muscle is antagonist. So the muscle that moves opposite. So like your hamstring is the antagonist of the quad. When you fire the antagonist, it then relaxes the other muscle.
So you're looking at reactions.
Yes.
When one thing moves, what's the next thing that moves?
And I've seen it be a great way to just, not necessarily a long-term fix, because you still have to fix the underlying problem, but it's a great way to kind of short-term ease symptoms that are going on with it.
Yeah, for sure. And I was a steeplechaser, so the fact that you mentioned quad with hip, that's what happened to me.
I had some track athletes back in the day, because I worked with track while I was at Michigan, who every couple of weeks their hips would be out of alignment in the same exact way, and we'd put them back in. Because they ran in the same way around the track.
The same stinking circle.
So I'm curious, in terms of treatment wise, because obviously ankle taping is probably the answer to this question, but what is the thing that you guys do the most of, or you see the most of? Is there a certain type of massage, a certain body part that gets the most treatment? Again, I'm guessing if you're talking everything, it's probably ankle taping.
Shoulders and knees and ankles would be the three, I would say.
Yeah. I would say ankles probably more than the other two, just because with so many different sports, like you're running, that's like the basic aspect of every sport. And so guys step wrong and then it twists the ankle. And
we ran some reports last spring before the seasons were done. And I remember there being a lot of ankles and a lot of shoulders last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a specific thing that you think would be attributing to that? I mean, it is like you mentioned the ankles. I mean, everybody's moving at such a high pace, quick turns, surfaces. I mean, I'm sure that's all factors.
I think it just depends, because that was all of our sports, and every sport's different.
It's really sport specific, because for example, I see a lot of, hip issues, a lot of knee issues with runners and track. Volleyball is going to be a lot of shoulder issues, because they're doing all that overhead movement.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even a quarterback is going to have more shoulder issues versus, a running back who might have more knee issues just because of the differences in their position and the way they're moving out in the field.
Yeah. Well, and I am not a person that believes in fate or coincidence, but everything comes in threes. Everything. It was ankle sprain, it's boom, boom, boom. If it's a knee, it's boom, boom, boom. I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to be my 8th year as an athletic trainer, and it always comes in threes.
So maybe you are actually a believer in coincidence or
no.
fate.
Just in that.
A believer is an unbeliever.
There you go.
Or
Sure.
something like that. Sure. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining. I know you probably got 100 texts to go tape some ankles, so we'll let you go. But the last question I want to ask you guys, and I ask everybody on the show, what's your favorite thing about being here at Ferris State and being a Bulldog?
Oh, gosh. I think just for me personally, it's the legacy. Both my parents were Bulldogs and they're alums, and they're both very proud of that. So just being able to be here and kind of help the athletes, help the school that they were a part of and that they love so much is really special to me.
Legacy. Love it.
Yeah, I would just say being able to be part of the kids' stories, even if it is a small piece of the puzzle for their whole life. It's anywhere I've worked, but here I definitely feel like I've made more of an impact with these kids.
Yeah.
So just being part of their puzzle piece.
It's good stuff.
Absolutely. Well, Allyson, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Brody, any last thoughts?
No, I just want to say, I know we touched on it and you guys work crazy hard. You do great things for the athletes. So I just wanted to say thank you for all that you give to this university and the athletics department.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks to Johnson's Automotive. We'll see you on another episode of Behind the Bulldogs. Take care, everybody.